You know, being a politician is a very demanding job. Campaigning is non-stop, we know that. And then there are those intense periods in Parliament. And while the travel sounds lovely, it would be incredibly wearing, right? Just look at the number of retiring politicians who talk about spending more time with their family. I guess the secret to longevity, though, is to make sure you have some downtime, like maybe a hobby, something to relieve the stress, something that is constructive. One of our most high-profile politicians has revealed her methodology to keep herself sane. Pauline Hanson knits. She knits jumpers. And we've got to get her tips on knitting because knitting is making a huge comeback. Did you know that? Well, you're about to be told that. Pauline Hanson, welcome to the Super Radio Network.
Thanks, Chris. You cracked me up. Introduction.
Do you have knitting needles in your office? Do you have knitting needles in the car? Where are the knitting needles?
No, definitely at home.
Home.
Although, I tell you what, I've got to be honest, when I've been on long trips on the road, I take my knitting with me.
Right.
I've got a driver, and then I knit while I'm on the road. So that's some long trips.
Do you regard knitting as a kind of mental stimulation, a way of relieving stress?
Yeah, love it. Actually, just to sit there and knit and I watch a movie, and I just enjoy that relaxation. But at the end of the day, I've got a product to show for it.
Yeah.
It's taken me nearly 60 years, Chris, to get to this stage of my life.
60 years of knitting?
Quality. Yeah.
Wow. Who taught you to knit?
Well, my mother used to knit, and I watched her, and then it was one of our staffers in the shop as well. So my mum couldn't tell me something that one of the staff used to help me. So I started it when I was around about 12.
Great.
Yeah, around about that age. So.
Do you remember the first thing you knitted?
Oh God, yes. It was. I started a scarf, but then I did my first white jumper, and my God, when I think about it now, the sleeves were too long, I had holes in it, I didn't know how to pick up the stitches, and it was, but for my first effort, because I don't just go half-hearted and little things, but I did the big things. So anyway, over the years I've taught myself just reading patterns and just, taught myself to do all these different stitches, intricate work and lace work, and also, the heavy work Arian, they call it, and, those big heavy jumpers, all the patterns, cable, everything. Yeah, so I do all that.
Well, what about selecting your wool? Is it important to select the right wool? Because I remember Mum was a little bit of a prolific knitter, but she used to knit these very thick jumpers that used to make me itchy.
It did the wool years ago. These days it's not as bad. I only use Bendigo Woolen Mill, okay? And you can buy it online. I can tell people about it. I've bought from them for years. The colour stays. It doesn't wash out. It doesn't pile.
What's the name again?
And it doesn't lose shape. Bendigo Woolen Mill.
Okay.
Great value. And the service is fantastic and you can buy online. But I've bought from them for years. And great product. So anyway, and the jumpers always keep their shape. And do not throw a jumper in the washing machine. Do not put it in the clothes dryer. Hand wash.
Ah, you've got to hand wash your jumpers.
Hand wash them and lay them flat on a towel to dry. After you can do a spin in the washing machine, spin dry, and then just lay them flat. Because
if you do put them in the washing machine, they get out of shape, do they?
Yeah, you can do. You just knock them round.
Right.
You only need a light hand wash and wool wash. But, no, look, I enjoy it, Chris, and I do my cooking as well. I've just finished making a cheesecake, so am I gardening? Am I reading? So I keep myself busy and, apart from my politics and trying to keep the party running and new senators and everything like that, so...
Now, you've combined your politics with your knitting, though, now, have you?
Well, I've done it for years, so it's just, it's an enjoyment that I have. It's a relaxation that I have.
So you're selling some of your wares to raise funds?
Yes, it's actually going to the party because I've got my big case against Faruqi at the end of the year.
Oh, yeah.
She's already put in for costs because I lost it and I'm appealing against it, and she's already put in for costs for $1.3 million. Now, my expenses, I'm in the hundreds of thousands already, so I need to win this case. But it all helps, Chris, and I thank the public out there who have supported me and donated to my fund for the Fighting Fund. But this is also my little way of trying to help myself.
So where can my listeners go and see your wares and maybe even contribute to the party at the same time?
That's lovely. The onenation.org.au. So it's on the One Nation shop. Yeah.
Do you have a knitting room, like fully set up?
No.
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 Just on the side of the table?
Sit in my chair and that's it.
Right, okay.
But, no, I've already sold 2 of the jumpers, have sold. So there's still some there, and they said, where are the men's jumpers? I said, it's coming. I'll put one up next week of a men's jumper.
Can you knock out a jumper like that quickly?
No, it takes me about, at minimum 60, possibly 80 hours, depending on how intricate the pattern is.
Right, okay.
About 80 hours. There's a lot of work in it.
Have you noticed more and more people are sort of reinvigorated to knit?
Not many people knit that I know of, Chris.
Right.
And it was a dying art. I tried to teach my daughter, but she couldn't handle it, and I tried to teach my daughter-in-law, but she couldn't do it either. So they didn't have the patience to keep going. Maybe that's why I started as young as I did. But people are saying, it's starting again. I hope it does. It's a great pastime, especially in your later years in life when you can't move. If you can't get around, at least you can do something with your hands, and you get a lot of enjoyment, satisfaction out of it. But I've knit it for my staff. I've given jumpers to my staff and different people. Auction for charity, different things. So,
excellent.
Yes. Yeah.
Great stuff. All right, we're going to talk about knitting on the program. And what are your 2 key tips to knit properly and proficiently?
Make sure you get your tension right. So your tension, they'll tell you how many stitches. If your knitters out there, just make sure you get your tension right. So that means how many stitches to the width in your garment. Sometimes people are loose knitters and your garment comes up very loose. I'm a very average knitter. So just make sure you get your tension right.
Right.
And the right needles for the...
And the right wool from Bendigo Woolen Mills.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
They've been great. Great service and everything. Yeah,
all right.
Australian wool.
We'll talk about politics down the track, no doubt. Thank you, Pauline.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Bye.
Appreciate that, Pauline Hanson. There you go.